that's not always what narcissism looks like.
In my head,
I was having a conversation with somebody online who I've never met. I don't know what they look like, but we've been in conversation, and it's a topic that I'm very passionate about, and it's frustrating me a lot because I dive into this world very often online. So the topic is narcissism, and there are a lot of people talking about narcissism online who don't know it very well, who are not professionals. There's also a lot of professionals who are online who still don't know the topic very well, do not educate themselves on what being a narcissist is. So there's a lot of bad information out there, let's put it that way. We have sources of information like Psychology Today and Psych Central and all kinds of offshoot sites from various therapists and life coaches and things of that nature, putting stuff out there that's professional sounding, that seems like good information, that when you start connecting dots, you're like, oh, this starts to make a picture that looks like something that I'm experiencing. But what I found after doing hours and hours and days and months of my own research into things is that a lot of the information that's out there is incorrect or misleading or sensational to get you to buy their book, to try their program, try their course, to believe in them as an authority on these subjects. And it's very frustrating for me because it's not helping anybody. It may help some people in the short term, but in the long term, it's not really helping the entire mental health community. So narcissism, let's talk about. I'm sorry guys, my eye is always watering out here because it's just that time of year with the wind. So this person that I've been talking with has narcissistic personality disorder, and they're in recovery for it, and I'm very proud of them for what they've told me that they've done so far. And something that we talked about that's interesting to me is how it's something I think we can all relate to some degree, but people don't realize it's narcissistic. This person very often praises other people, tells them good things about themselves, tells them like, oh, I'm proud of you for doing this, you're doing so well, you're such a great person, you're exciting, and all this other stuff. And we don't think of that as narcissism normally, and it doesn't have to be, but we don't normally think of it as narcissism because we think of a narcissist as always being selfish and always thinking about themselves and always trying to appear like the best to other people. And we think it's really obvious, and we think, when somebody's a narcissist, they're just like a jerk or whatever. But that's not always what narcissism looks like. So what this person does is they praise people, and what's happening is they want, this is characteristic of narcissism, is attention seeking. And what they want is your attention, and they want you to like them, and they want you to believe in them as a good person. So they praise you and they flatter you and they tell you nice things about yourself. And I realized as we were talking that they started doing this to me, and because I just know that this is a characteristic hallmark of narcissism, I pointed it out to them. And it led into a discussion about something that, I really truly believe that I think people misunderstand is codependency. A lot of people throw this word codependent around. So the word codependent came from Alcoholics Anonymous, and it came from realizing that people who were in relationships with people who were alcoholics and substance users, they tended to try to fix the other people, and there was this pattern of always revolving their lives around the person with the substance use disorder and enabling their behavior. And so this term codependent was born, but it was never validated. When it came down to studying it and making it a disorder in the DSM, they decided, no, there's not substantial evidence here to call this a disorder, and there's a good reason for that. I have my suspicions that when we're using the word codependent, first of all, it's not valid. We shouldn't be using it, in my opinion. I don't know why we continue to use this word. It frustrates me. My theory is that codependency is just a nice way to say narcissistic, because a codependent is looking for self-esteem in somebody else. They're trying to fix somebody else to feel self-important. or they're trying to get somebody else to like them and appreciate them to feel self-important. And that's exactly what this person who has narcissistic personality disorder was trying to do with me. They were trying to praise me, to get me to like them, because although it looks like they're caring about me and appreciating me, it's really about them getting their own self-esteem needs met through me. And so narcissism is not always about trying to show other people how great you are, or trying to put other people down necessarily. Sometimes narcissism looks like trying to help other people too much and investing too much in other people's lives. So I wanted to make that distinction clear, because it's not something people are talking about. We're talking about how narcissists are evil people and they gaslight you and they do all these other things. And yes, abusive people do those things. It's not all narcissists that do those things. Borderline people do that. Antisocial people do that. Just people with anxiety disorders can gaslight you. It's like not an exclusive thing to narcissism. That's a whole other rant that I'm not going to get on right now. But narcissistic personality disorder, a lot of people don't realize they have it because they're thinking, oh, I'm a codependent, or I just like to help people, or I can't be narcissistic because I care so much about other people. But when you really dig down deep into why you care about other people, you start to realize it's a very shallow form of caring. You don't really care about those people's lives. You just care that they like you. So hopefully it's going to open somebody's eyes who's watching this video to something. At least think about it. Think about a different way of thinking about narcissism, because unfortunately people who have narcissistic personality disorder get bashed so much for having it that they are not able to see there's so much negativity swirling around this disorder that people can't see that they have it themselves, and the people who can see that they have it themselves don't even feel comfortable talking about it, because they're going to be seen as evil people who you can't relate to. They're seen like they're robots, they're not human, and that's unfair, and it's stigmatizing, and it needs to end. So that's it.